All right, here we go. Unit 4, topic 2, standard to vertex form. Standard form, vertex form, you must know the difference. There we go, all caught up now. Standard form is the equation y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. It has to be in a specific order, has to, okay? A, B, and C are just numbers. That's what A, B, and C stand for. They're just numbers. How do you know what order it has to be in? Your exponent, what's an exponent? Please, somebody tell me what an exponent is. What do you think it is, Piper? The little number above your letter. Thank you. Whew, nobody last period could tell me that. My exponents have to be in order from big to small. So I have to have an x squared, then an x, then a number. It has to be in that order. If it's not in that order, you have to put it in that order, okay? So standard form, which you're gonna use standard for from now until probably April. So you have to know what standard form is. Ax squared plus bx plus c. Vertex form is very similar to what you just took a quiz over. Very, very similar. Y equals a parentheses x minus h squared plus k. Looks almost identical to what you just took a quiz over, correct? The only difference is it's the letter A instead of 1 over 4p. That's the only difference, okay? What does H and K, what does that stand for? The point of your vertex. H comma K, same thing as last topic, that is your vertex. This letter A actually comes from the standard form equation, and I'll show you what I mean in just a minute. That A comes from this standard form, okay? I didn't do very good with my color coordinating there. I forgot to switch, huh? Okay, so if I give you something in standard form, I really can't ask you many questions about it except is it pointing up or is it pointing down? That's all I can really ask. If I give you something in vertex form, I can ask you about transformations. I can ask you what the vertex is. We can graph it. So vertex form, this over here is graph friendly, meaning this is what we want it in order to make it a graph. Vertex form is graph friendly. Okay. Okay, we're gonna try and get through 3 examples. So let's go to example number 1. I'm gonna give you an equation, y equals x squared plus 8x minus 1. And if I had to guess, your directions would probably say write in vertex form. So I am changing from standard form to vertex form. Okay, if you do these 3 steps that I'm going to show you, it's as simple as I can make it. So, very first step, I need an A, a B, and a C. And I told you A, B, and C are numbers. There should never be a letter behind these equal signs, ever. They are numbers, okay? Where do A, B, and C come from? Well, look back up here. We had y equals a x squared. A is the number in front of my x squared. So what number is in front of my x squared? 1. B is in front of x. So what number is in front of x? 8. C is just the number all by itself. What number is all by itself? -1. You got to keep the sign with it. -1. Questions so far? So A, B, and C come from my standard equation. So now I need to figure out what H is. And what does H really stand for? Which letter in my vertex? The X value of my vertex. H has an equation, negative B over 2A. Put a big star by that. You're going to have to know that equation. It never changes. It is always negative B over 2A every single time, okay? So if I have negative B, B is 8, so I have negative 8 over 2 times A, and A was 1. So I have negative 8 over 2, so what does H equal? Negative 4. I am going to take this negative 4, because what did you say H stood for? What letter? It really stands for X, right? I'm going to plug that in to my standard equation. Everywhere I see the letter X, I'm going to plug that in. So instead of Y equals, I have K equals, because what does the letter K stand for? The Y value of my vertex, right? Are we following? We got questions. What does H stand for? X. What does K stand for? Y. Very good. So I have K equals X squared plus 8X minus 1. And if you aren't listening, listen now. You must use parentheses. I don't care if you use a calculator or you don't use a calculator. Without parentheses, it will be wrong, okay? So K equals, I'm going to take out my X and put in a negative 4, parentheses squared, plus 8, take out my X, put in a negative 4, minus 1. Y'all, what does negative 4 squared mean? What does it mean? Negative 4 times negative 4. If you don't know that, write it down. Negative 4 times negative 4. So what is negative 4 times negative 4? Positive 16. What is positive 8 times negative 4? Negative 32 minus 1. What is 16 minus 32? Negative 16, and I have my minus 1, so what does K equal? Negative 17. Very good. So I can ask you a lot of questions now. First question I could ask you is, what is my vertex? H comma K. Negative 4, negative 17. Listen to my questions. What is the X value of my vertex? Negative 4. What is the Y value of my vertex? Negative 17. That's 3 questions I can ask already from this one question. Now, what if I ask for vertex form? That's an equation. So it has to start with Y equals. Look at your equation up at the top. Y equals A. What was my A value in this problem? Okay, I'm going to write it. That way we know where it came from. 1, parentheses, X. What number is in the X spot of my vertex? Negative 4, but what do I have to write in my equation? Why is it positive 4? Inside's opposite. You flip it when you put it in the equation. Yes, ma'am. Okay. And squared. What does that little square tell me? That my graph is a parabola. Thank you. If I start with y, I end with y. So what's it going to ask? What's going to be on the outside here? Minus 17. So let's see who can answer some more questions. Carmen, where did this number 1 come from right here?
The A.
That's my A value. Now, if it is a number 1, do I really need to put it? No. If it is a negative 1, do I need to put it? Yes. Okay. Ali, where did this positive 4 come from? Moses, where did this 4 come from?
From H.
From H. Why is it positive instead of negative?
It switched.
It's inside's opposite. Very good. Delphina, where did this negative 17 come from?
K.
Thank you, my dear. Very good. Questions so far? And then in topic 3, I'm going to ask you, what are those transformations? I can ask you more questions. All right, let's go try and get one more done before our bell rings. Ready? Y equals, no, let's do it this way. Y minus 14x equals negative 7x squared. Is it in order? No, because it doesn't even say y equals. So what do I have to do to this negative 14x? We're going to add it. Listen, listen, listen. It has to be in order. Has to. Where does a 14x go? First, second, or last? Has to go second. If you don't know that, you better write this big at the top of your paper. X squared, x number. Has to be in that order. Okay? So when I add 14x, I'm going to add it behind my x squared. So y equals negative 7x squared plus 14x. Carson, can I actually add these together? Why not? They have 2 different exponents. Very good. I need an A, a B, and a C. Adam, what's my A value? Try again. Negative 7. Very good. Isaiah, what's my B value? Avery, what's my B value? 14. Jamori, what's my C value? Do I have a number? So what is it? What number is no number? 0. Very good. Okay. So let's go figure out H. What was my formula? Negative B over 2A. So I have a negative 14 over 2 times negative 7. Negative 14 divided by negative 14. So what does H equal? Positive 1. What do I do with that H? Plug it into standard form. That's right here. Not the original. Plug it into standard form. So K equals negative 7x squared plus 14x. Everywhere I see an x, what am I putting there instead? A positive 1, what my H is. Using parentheses. If you don't use parentheses, it makes your problem wrong. Do I multiply negative 7 and 1, or do I exponent first? Exponent. So what is 1 squared? So I have negative 7 times 1 plus 14 times 1. So K equals negative 7 plus 14. So what does K equal? 7. So what is my vertex? What's that going to be? 1, 7. Very good. my vertex form, y equals a. What's my a value? -7, parentheses, x. What's going to be inside with my x? -1. Jackson, why is it a -1? Inside's opposite, squared. If you don't have a squared, it's wrong. Has to have a squared to tell me it's a parabola. And what's going to be on the outside? +7. Very good. Tomorrow, y'all, this is it. That's all topic 2 is. I can't make it any harder than that. Well, I can. We'll try one tomorrow. But all I can do is make it harder in the very beginning. So tomorrow when you come to class, we will do one problem together, and then you will practice on Tuesday and Wednesday. And when is your quiz over this? On Thursday, okay? Robert, tomorrow if I have to ask you to turn your camera on, you're getting kicked out. Do you understand me? No, you're not there? I'll kick you out right now. Look at this, ready? Boom, there we go. First one, kicked out, marked absent. Mr. Hayes, if you are not in your camera tomorrow, you will be kicked out, my dear. You must have a face in the camera 24/7 during class.